just do it. And the idea is, well, we're the good guys, so it's okay. Really, are you the good guys in history? Our founders said, keep government on a short leash or you're going to end up in hell. I don't care how many excuses there are. So my point on this issue is the tyrants are arrogant right now. They know some of us are waking up, so they want to finish their program up. But a lot of them are arrogant now. So teachers are saying you'll be arrested if you criticize Obama. And that's waking people up. The Army puts out the document, yeah, we're getting re-education camps ready for the American people. That wakes folks up. The Economist magazine, Financial Times, they all come out and say, yeah, world government's the answer. That's waking people up. They've gotten to the point now where this thing is so far along, the system has to bring it out in the open. It's that simple. And because myself, you, countless others out there, millions of liberty lovers worldwide, not just in the U.S., hundreds of millions, have been talking about this, and the general public thinks they're cool because they don't have respect for themselves if they repeat what TV said, because that's TV. I mean, that's fancy. The teleprompter person said that, or the sitcom or drama or movie said that, or a cop said that in a movie. I mean, that's what really cool people say. No, that's what propaganda says to implant that in your mind. So they come back at you with, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist because you don't think the government should be giant, or you think the government might be nefarious. You look at them and you say, man, you really are stupid. You're using some throwaway line on me while the government's growing exponentially, our country's being bankrupted, the borders are wide open, treason is being committed, the UN's telling the president what to do. Well, so what? What's the point of a president then? You're sitting here making jokes about somebody who's bringing up points that the founders believed in. Oh, well, the founders, they were just old racist white men. It's usually a white yuppie saying that. I'm like, well, then, so you do say throw out everything they called for. Keep government out of religion. Keep government out of your house. Have low taxes. Have a separation of powers. Have due process. Have warrants so the cops can't break into your house anytime they feel like it. Because everywhere else in the world, they just show up whenever they want. Cop thinks your wife's hot, goes in. That's how it is in third world countries, by the way, and Eastern Europe and other places. I mean, I saw articles here today where a guy's fighting for his life after being stabbed more than 50 times by a bunch of hoodlums. And I was reading articles where in areas of Northern Europe, you're arrested if you even fight back while being stabbed. England's becoming the same way. And I thought about how they won't let people get any type of martial arts training or anything. I mean, it's so pathetic what the globalist culture is. It's a culture to secure criminal reign. It's a culture to secure the ruling class and all their minions can do and engage in whatever they want. And I, for one, have had enough of it. And I want to say this. We're having a lot of victories right now, but it really hit me. I was poleaxed by this last night. The biggest victory we've got is the Second Amendment. It burns in the gut and in the mind of the globalist control freaks who are just amassing all this military hardware and training against us that the American people are waking up and buying 3, 4, 5 million guns a month. Double any previous record. It angers them that people are getting back to being self-sufficient and trying to move to the countryside. The trendies and the liberals and the conservatives are all getting together and waking up to being agrarian again. That totally freaks the New World Order out. So they've got countermeasures. But that's only waking people up that much faster. And when the system comes out and says guns aren't cool, everybody knows they are. When the system comes out and saying having a garden's bad, everybody knows it is. Good to have a garden. And again, you're like, yeah, this is all common sense. Okay, well, let's get that common sense out to other people. But it really hit me last night. It hit me hard. Hit me really hard. That it really hit me that I need to focus more and point out to everybody in a big way that we can beat these people. There are so many fronts that we're having a lot of success on. A lot of fronts. And if we just point out the victories we've had and we continue to point out how criminal the opposition to liberty is. Now, liberty, criminality, freedom, slavery, empowerment, disempowerment, exhilaration, humiliation. I mean, I choose the good stuff. And those that want to demonize this country's founders, that want to demonize the ideas of liberty and freedom, they're tyrants. Or they're little camp followers who are so afraid of the power structure, they think by groveling to it and endorsing it, they're going to somehow be part of that structure. It is beyond ignorant. But the fact that they've got a UN treaty to ban civilian ownership of firearms, the fact that Hillary says they want to sign it and try to enforce it, and the fact that they know, the system knows, nobody's putting up with any of their incremental gun control anymore. Nobody's putting up with their false flag terror attacks, sending guns into Mexico to blame it on the Second Amendment. The jig is up. It's over. Our beachhead through the Second Amendment that was put there for a reason, you got the First Amendment, the power of the pen, next you got the sword. And they are chewing up every other right, overthrowing it, trying to train the public who is not accustomed to having access and being confronted by police and military. They're trying to train all of us to be accustomed to the fact that the system has access to our homes, our person, our bodies. They're trying to get us used to that contact to try to bring in martial law. I mean, that's what martial law is. I mean, I drive around Austin, Texas now, or surrounding areas. I was out in Bastrop yesterday, and I had like 6 guns in the back of my car, which are totally legal and lawful, rifles, and I was going out to do another shoot with the Steiner brothers out at their ranch. This beautiful hills overlooking this little lake. It was incredible shots. Wait till you see what we did. And I had 2 cops follow behind me on the way in from outside Austin, out west in the hill country. Cops everywhere pulling people over on the main highway. Cops driving out to Bastrop all over the place. Cops all over Bastrop driving back into town last night. We went and got dinner. Cops driving into Austin. And did it make me feel good? You know, that's the question. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, state police behind me. Oh my gosh, Bastrop police behind me. Oh my gosh, Dripping Springs cops behind me. They're going to pull me over. They're going to sit there and see 6 guns laid out in the back and, you know, big cases of spent ammo. And I'm not going to answer 20 questions. I'm going to say, listen, you got a problem with my guns, literally get the hell out of my country. And I was thinking about what I was going to say. Leave me alone. It's my country. I haven't done anything wrong. And I shouldn't feel bad when you pull me over for whatever reason. Okay? You don't make me feel good. Now, again, chances are the cops would have pulled me over, but I wasn't speeding. It wouldn't have been an issue. But I'm just getting to the point where I can't be messed with anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, I read we're in Chicago. They're setting up these 3 trendies that wanted to go have fun and protest. And they're saying, yes, they were set up. That, yes, they were put in a apartment. And they think the people that gave them the apartment set them up with the beer-making equipment they're saying are Molotov cocktails. And that's how this works, folks. Luke thinks they were set up like that. They were trying to set them up. An exact group connected to that. I mean, never go to some city and go to somebody's house you don't know who invites you there off, you know, Facebook or Craigslist or whatever to stay there. I mean, they will put you in prison in 2 seconds and sleep all night about it. I'm going to Bilderberg, and I'm not going to have any weapons, not planning anything violent. If anybody ever sets us up, I'm not scared of that. They're criminals, they're scum, and try to set me up. That's just the way it is. I put my faith in God. I don't think that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised someday if it doesn't, because that's just the way it is. This is a criminal system. But I'm going to protest Bilderberg, and so are thousands of other people, and that's the end of it. And these guys will get on our tail in unmarked cars, and we'll just stop the car and get out, and they'll drive away from us, and we start following them. And then they'll pull up at a restaurant and run and lock themselves in the bathroom. So, again, I'm done being fearful. I'm done. And Again, the fact that the people know the government wants our guns to make us slaves, the fact that people all across the political spectrum are buying guns, it just shows that they cannot win when the people are against them. Your calls are coming up, then more news. I'm looking at the new NDAA bill that expands secret arrest and torture and murder of American people, and the Pentagon engaging in domestic psyops against the American people. I mean, how do we ever let it get this far? They've got all these superheroes coming out that are gay. Can't the kids just read a comic book about a superhero? No, there's got to be all these messages. And as the big think tanks and the Rockefeller Foundation said 50, 60 years ago, we will encourage homosexuality so people don't have families, so that they see the state as their family. I'm going to be covering that. Also, if you go to drudgereport.com, we've got a big article out today. Pistol, TSA gropers being trained to feel for crotch bombs. And they admit the crotch is now the key. Your crotch is very suspicious. The government minion, forget get the government out of your bedroom. How about government out of my pants? And if you go back to the Drudge headline, it's linked to the Hill. It says that they are increasing fees to fly to fund the expansion of the TSA onto the highways of America. That's what's really happening. Now, they've announced TSA had to be in every city of the country, and your airport fees are going to pay for it. Let's go back to Drudge. I want to show TV viewers that photo, a recent photo of the man standing there with his hands out like he's a terrorist. It's all about submission. Oh, they had another photo up earlier. I guess that was InfoWars where the guy's hands are out. But there's the guy with the TSA gripping his genitals. And I'm sorry to talk like that on air, but that's medically what's happening there. And if you don't like them going up and actually squeezing to see what it is, well, you're just not an American. That's got to be the new American flag. In fact, hey, will you get Caden here, the graphics guy? I want to take that photo. I want to make that the field of blue. That it's perfectly square, and then have like barbed wire, you know, our standard barbed wire, you know, legalized freedom shirt. I want to put that up on InfoWars right now. I want that to be the field of blue, and then the rest of it, I don't know, maybe Prozac pills or something, or maybe kids being kidnapped by the government and raped and murdered. We could have like a really nice American flag. But there is the new American flag. An old guy being wanded and tested and just totally bending over to him. And then you got this guy going, sir. Well, you know what South Park says. Let me look inside there and see what's going on. And by the way, you can tell those guys fly a lot because that is exactly. I was watching that. I don't really like South Park because I'm not into dirty humor. But in the case of the TSA, that's what they're doing. In fact, they're not even, people think it's funny, but that's what they actually do. That episode, one woman gets sucked down a pressure toilet. And so they ban people, sitting on the toilet or whatever. So they have the toilet police. That's what TSA, Toilet Safety Administration. And they're running around going after people. So that's some of what's coming up. I got a ton of news here I got to get to. Let's go to Scott in Arizona. You're on the air, you evil thought criminal. You may need the TSA to make sure there's not a... How do I even know you don't have a bomb in your pants right now? Should I call the police on you? I mean, there used to be presumption of innocence because society can't operate if you think everybody's guilty, but let me call the police right now. Ladies and gentlemen,